Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here at the Marketing 101 presented by Debbie Denny with Debbie Denny Media Solutions. We also have on our screen today Judy Bergeron, Library Director for the Smithville Public Library, who's going to say a few words. Judy.
Thank you very much, April. I just wanted to welcome everybody to this virtual training, Marketing 101. As I told April and Debbie, the library needs some marketing skills, but I can't stay today, but I will watch the recorded version, the archived version of this video. This program is brought to you by a grant, a CARES grant from the Institute for Museum and Library Services and the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. And they granted us the money so that we could partner with the chamber, which is always a wonderful partnership to be able to bring these programs to you. So enjoy the class. I know you're going to learn a lot from Debbie, and I'll catch you on the next class that we have. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Judy.
Thanks.
So we're going to get started, but I want to make just a couple of quick administrative little reminders here. If you want to interact with our speaker at the end of her presentation, simply type in your questions in the chat feature, which is right there at the bottom of your screen. Type in any questions you'd like to present to her. And when she is done, her presentation will be about 45, 50 minutes long. I will pop back in as moderator and pepper her with all of your questions. So I want to introduce our first person here who will be kicking off our 40 video virtual online training series. As Judy Bergeron mentioned from the Smithville Public Library, this is made possible by a grant from the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the Texas State Library Archives Association, the City of Smithville through the library, and of course the Chamber of Commerce. So we're very excited to have Debbie Denny here today with Debbie Denny Media Solutions. And I'm going to let Debbie introduce herself, then we'll start sharing her screen and she'll begin her presentation. Debbie, it's up to you now.
Well, thank you, April. I really appreciate it. And what a wonderful grant that was given to the library and to the Smithville area. I'm Debbie Denny with Debbie Denny Media Solutions. I've been in the advertising, marketing, and promotion business for 40 years, over 40 years. And I've been in this various different kind of industry. I've actually worked in it in sales and management in radio and television and cable and print media, newspaper, digital, and now I own my own advertising agency. Prior to this, I had worked at the Fast Drop Advertiser and Smithville Times in advertising sales for over 10 years. I don't know what came over me to decide to open up my own business, but it was just kind of a natural thing. And I'm so glad that I did it. I've got to work with some wonderful people. So my goal today is to give you a better understanding of what marketing is and how it works, give you some helpful hints, I hope, give you some information that you don't already know. I know some of it is going to be things that you've already used in your everyday business, but it doesn't hurt to have a refresher. And we're going to talk a little bit about creating a marketing budget and putting a marketing plan together with some local resources that you could use. So did you know that you could advertise anywhere and it would work? I know that's a pretty broad statement, but it's true. If you have good creative, it will work. I bet you haven't heard that before, but before we get there, we need to make sure that you totally understand your business and whether you're a new business or a well-established one, this information should be able to help you. I'm going to first give a shout out to see that if everybody knows and familiar with score.org. It's a wonderful website full of information and resources and webinars and templates that you can use, including a 26-page template on a business plan, creating a business plan. So valuable. Also, it has a financial plan template and a marketing plan template. So you might want to check that out and get some of the information that we're going to go over. Um, so, and it's run by retired business people that volunteer their time to help local businesses. And right now, when I was looking on the website, they have so many resources to help you if you're having problems getting through this pandemic, you know. Um, anyway, and you can always schedule an appointment to meet with them, probably via Zoom right now. So score.org is a valuable resource tool. And I've, if you just scroll down, I've attached a 48 questions. Does everybody know what SWOT is? It's your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and uh, threats. And every business owner should just take this material and get with your employees, go through the questions, and really analyze how your business is operating. Whether it doesn't matter how successful it is, you should still do this at least, like once a year. And then I've also attached a brand brainstorming worksheet that's very similar, but will help you generate some really good ideas for your business. So we don't need to go over them right now, but they'll be available for you to use. You can scroll down. Yeah, there's the 48 questions, and you scroll down again, and then scroll down again. There, and that's your brainstorming workshop, and it's another page. That's okay. Similar questions, but the results. Here's a Excel spreadsheet to help you with your annual marketing budget, which everybody should have one. When you are putting together your budget, you take certain percentages, which I'll go over in a few minutes, based on your estimated gross sales. And just like you have to sit down and do your taxes, you should every year go over and project your sales for the year and put together your budget. So anyway, we got through all that. Then let's talk about what marketing is. In its simplest terms, marketing is the act of driving profitable customer action. However you do it, it's best if you have some strategy and tactics along with it to help position your products and your services in the marketplace and target to the right customer to make them purchase. So back in my early days, I was very fortunate to attend many sales seminars to teach me the underlying knowledge and tactics of what marketing is. And my favorite thing was always building top of the mind awareness. And some sales reps would always, name drop and call it TOMA, right? But it's top of the mind awareness. It's where you're building your impressions, where a message stays in your brain for when they're ready, when they need it, you'll respond, okay? And in order to do that, to build impressions, you need frequency, consistency with a good creative message. Creative is so key. It needs to be memorable. It could be a great slogan. I think my slogan is good. The idea shop where ideas never stop. And it's one I've had for like 30 years and it just stays with me. And emotional messages are good. And anytime you can invite your customer into your heart, knowing their needs and their desires, you've got them. And then also, using the best advertising medium possible. And it doesn't have to be the most popular and it doesn't have to be the most expensive to make it work. Make sure that you have your keywords, your keywords, and build them up to help build your SEO on your website. And the chamber pages is a great resource to help build up your keywords. And then make sure that your business information is up to date and consistent on all the directories. I checked out mine on yext.com and none of them were correct. But there's an opportunity to go in and at least pick out the major directories that apply to your type of business and make sure that all the information is correct. Your business name is all the same, your address, your phone number, your email, your website. It's crucial. because that information is what Google looks at when they, you know, do your SEO and help rise you to the top. So getting back to building top of the mind awareness, it refers to your brand and your specific product. And there's 5 ways to achieve top of the mind awareness. Be memorable, even if it means being different. I love that. You know, I tell you a story. I did a Paravet Plumbing had come to me and asked me, this has been several years ago, to do a billboard for them. They had one, you know, right here on 71, close to my house by College Street. Then they had one on the way to Smithville, and they had one in Elgin. And he said, Debbie, I need a good idea. And he said it even could be borderline. And so, of course, that got my interest. And so instead of going and look, you know, at billboards for plumbing companies, I went to look at plumber's jokes, you know, and I thought, well, let me see what I could come up with here. So I came up with this idea that it had a billboard had a shower head with the shower on, and it said, "Everyone I see turns me on." And then, no kidding aside, call Paravet Plumbing. And anyway, it was risque, but it was good. It just depends on how you look at it, because, you know, I mean, that's the truth. Everyone that goes into shower does turn them on. So anyway, that's different. So find your unique selling proposition. Consider what your company or your product is special. Is it does it have a market niche, you know, exclusively, or exceptional service, high targeted products and services? Clearly tell this to your customer and make the value proposition simple and easy to remember. And all of this information will help you come up with the answers and the creative tech that you need to put together your advertising. So, and be proactive. When a one-time advertising blitz can get your message out quickly, you know, like if you're having a specific sale that weekend, that would be the way to do it. But that won't build top of the mind awareness. I'm sorry, excuse me. You need to make your message consistent and over a period of time. So use consistent branding. Everything on your customer, your literature, your rack cards, your business cards, brochures. The worst thing that you can possibly do is create a bunch of different looks. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen businesses that are so excited about 5 different kind of business cards that they did, that they got on Vista, you know, and created them. And they all look totally different. What they don't realize is that's working against yourself, your brand, your look, your feel is all got to be consistent. So that's what helps build top of the mind awareness. And also use as multiple mediums that you can. Stay in front of the audience using several, whether it be Facebook, print, email marketing. Your awareness is going to be based on your repetition, and it doesn't have to be expensive. I'm sorry, excuse me. All right, so much better. Thank you. And be useful. A frequency doesn't have to be annoying. I think there's one personal injury attorney that we can think of that is a little bit, it's too much, you know. So be perceived as a provider of useful information rather than an intrusive pest. So communicate frequently, but give your audience genuine value each time. Never before have the consumers had so many choices. Top of the mind awareness should be your goal of your marketing efforts. And here's an important tip. A prospect needs to hear the advertiser's message at least 7 times before they take action to buy the product or service. So, and 7 times doesn't mean really each time. It's how many times each one of those impressions made an impact on your brain to help remember. So let's play in a game, a word association game. I'm going to mention a few categories, and you write down the first brand that pops in your head. Okay, ready? Soda. What comes to mind? Facial tissues. What comes to mind? Superstore. Who do you think of? A smartphone and a fast food restaurant. Okay, let's take a look at your list. Do your answers look something like Coca-Cola, or it could be Pepsi, Kleenex, Walmart, Apple, McDonald's, maybe Chick-fil-A? Oh, and it's not that I'm reading your mind or anything. It's just those people have spent so much time working on become, the top of your mind. Yes, they have a lot more money than we do, but they also did it through a brand and through consistency and building impressions. So anyway, for all the complexity and its core, marketing revolves around four things. It's product, price, promotion, and place. Your product is what the company sells, obviously, whether that means a physical or a service like my industry. So you need to determine how many different product variations or lines should be sold, how they should be packaged or presented, and how will be serviced, whether warranties, return policies, and so on. Price, this is how much stuff costs, and that's probably one of the hardest things to do, is to determine how much you can price your products for. You need to do a lot of research and study the market, and see how much people will pay, and decide if you want to add any discounts to it, or when certain sales should go on. So those are all part of your marketing plan for your price. Now, promotion, which of course I think is one of the most important also. Your product is, once it's out there, you need to promote it, and the people need to know it exists. If you don't tell them, how are they supposed to know? So decide what channels you want to help promote your products on, whether it be online or offline, what your messages needs to be communicated, and what verbiage that the audience wants to hear to sell them your product. And then the place, the right product needs to have a place to sell, whether it's online or offline. You need to decide how you want to distribute it and sell it. So part of your marketing plan, one of the most important parts of it, is your marketing budget, which I would love to know how many people have a set annual marketing budget. And it's hard because you have so many opportunities that come in, and you can't plan on them. So you have to leave yourself a little leeway for those type of marketing opportunities. But keep in mind that marketing is an investment. It's not an expense. It's how you let the people know about your business and persuade them to buy your products or services. So it's something you cannot do without it. So in certain industries, marketing accounts for a high percentage of the budgets than others. Geographical areas are determined percentages, such as a rural area, are typically less. But another rule of thumb is look at your estimated gross sales. And in larger markets, they say it's 7 to 10% of your estimated gross sales for the year. And on the low end, it would be 3 to 7%. So it's, you don't want to overextend yourself, but you want to give yourself enough to make it work. And then when you're looking through, again, this is just all stuff that you want to work on to get work on your marketing plan. What I have listed below is their key elements and to help. Of course, you need to know description of your business, what products and services you offer. You need to know your business environment. Are there sections of the market that are underserved that your product might be able to fill the void? So does your market want or value your service or product? I mean, how awful would that be if it was had too many of the same items that you're selling, and why would they choose you to come in and buy it from you? Is there enough money out there for people to buy your products? And how much profit will you need to make for your business to pay off? That's so important. I have looked at businesses that open brand new and just wonder if there's enough inventory in their business for them to even survive. That's crucial to your business. So the marketing challenges you're going to face are, do you lack brand recognition, or do you face a limited budget, which is usually many businesses' case. And you know what? You have to know about who your competitors are. You need to know how they operate, what their marketing advantages and disadvantages are, in order to help position yourself in a better way. And then, you know, if there are any foreseeable outside influences that would hurt your business, any laws or future area construction, which, you know, in Bastrop and Smithville, we know too well. Okay, and then you need to know who your target customer is. I don't care what kind of business you have. You can't be all things to all people. So you need to know who they are, what do they want, and what motivates them to buy. You need to know their age group, their gender, any buying characteristics would be good. And that all takes research, you know, to find out more about your target customer. Can you go scroll down? Yeah, thanks. So the more you know about your customer, the more successful you'll be. If you can find yourself to have that niche or the void in the market, you know, and you can fulfill it, that's such a huge advantage. So then also part of your marketing plan is you need to set your business goals for the upcoming year, both in marketing and in sales. And your goals should be sensible, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time specific. So this is kind of worded well. It says, for instance, a goal of increasing sales of accounting software is not very specific or measurable, but a goal of increasing sales of accounting software by 20% over the next 12 months is much more specific and measurable. So help yourself out and be realistic and know those options. So, and then the most important section is the strategies and your tactics. And that's not easy for most people to do. And I hate to give myself a plug or my type of business, but that's where working with somebody experienced as an advertising agency or whatever can really be helpful for you to help you set those goals and your strategies and how you're going to get there. So yeah, this is the heart of your marketing plan. It's the message, what you plan to do to market your materials, how to plan to achieve your marketing goals, and what tactics you're going to use to meet them. So your marketing message determines how you want to communicate your message to your customer. What story about your business do you want to tell, and how are the key points to include in your strategy? Telling your story and reaching into their needs and their values is so valuable, and it will be rewarding if you can accomplish that. So understand and know and have your customers know and understand what you do and what is special about your customer, and how do you perceive your potential customers' problems. That's tricky. That's hard to determine, but if you can do that, that's great. Can you scroll down again, April? So you need to know or create what the benefits are that your customers are going to receive for your product or your services, and know and understand that. If you have testimonials or reviews, that's great. Tell that story, or tell their story. You know, that's probably one of the best means of advertising you can use. Make sure you understand your pricing structure and and let people know what kind of guarantees you're willing to offer. So, uh, you know, the more you know and answer these questions, the more successful you'll be. So I listed some tools and some resources that you could use to help your business. Flyers, brochures, um, television, magazine, what have you. And then I added the chamber advertising, online advertising, social media, trade shows, press releases. Those are all things that help keep your name out there. I was trying to scroll down. So what I did is I put some local advertising opportunities together for you because, in Bastrop and Smithville, we're a lot more unique than the other small areas outside of the Austin area. And that's that we're kind of off on our own. We don't want to be part of the Austin market. We're not part of the Austin market. So therefore we don't need to be using a lot of their resources as far as advertising. So we have to know what we have right here. I hate to talk bad about the local Bastrop and Smithfield newspaper, but we all know it's not what it used to be, and you won't see me that I don't have it recommended on any of these things. So, and by the way, I had been contracting with them to sell their major special sections like the Bastropian and the Best of Bastrop County, but as of December 31st, I'm no longer contracted with them. They're taking their advertising to a call center in Cincinnati. So that's who, if you need to place a classified or any kind of advertising, that's where you'll have to call them. But so I thought I'd give you some examples of great resources. Rack cards are just as important as business cards. They're 4-inch by 9-inch, full color, glossy, both sides, with more information and pictures that you can use. And if you scroll down, I've got some samples of ones that I've done. I've done hundreds of them, and they're great. And there's so many places that allow you to use these. Of course, at the chamber, they will, and you want to make sure you get one of those rack card holders, which I believe you can get like 10 of them on Amazon for like $40. So, but they're very beneficial. Could you scroll down again? Well, I'm a big print person, but direct mail works. I've done so many of them, and every one I've done have been so successful, and they work. It helps if you have a call to action when you're putting these together and giving them reasons, to pick up phone. But your creative is also very important. So the price varies, but if you do every door direct mail, which means that the mailman takes your postcard, your direct mail piece, and they put them in every mailbox in those zones. And postage is only works out to be a little over 19 cents each, which if you did a regular smaller postcard, it'd be 45 cents. So, and then the printing and what have you is a little, extra, but it works out to be around 35 cents each. So, and then if you scroll down again, I've got a couple pages of some samples. Now here's a campaign. I handle the marketing for Parapet Plumbing and Air Conditioning. And these are just a few samples of what I put together for them, because our initial talks were, everybody says that the 3 things that sell the best are children, animals, and sex. Well, we didn't want the sex part of it there, but so we used the animals just to touch people's hearts, and I think we did a really good job. So this is just 3 of several EDDMs that I did for them. And if you scroll down one more time, here's some more examples of direct mail pieces that I did for, including Milton's. Milton's hasn't done one in quite a while because the business is just doing great, and they keep as much inventory as they can during this pandemic. But there really hasn't been a need for them to do a direct mail piece. So, okay, scroll down again, please. The chamber has so many different great. I mean, great opportunities for you to build your top of the mind awareness and get your name out there. April is fabulous about helping all the different businesses. One of them is the new chamber newsletter, the full color, glossy, and it's mailed to every member. And you can have an ad in there for only $75 a month if you commit to 6 months. And you're right there in front of all the members, and they're reading it, every word, whatever April and Jill and now Linda, whatever they say, that people want to know about it. Then of course, soon there's going to be online ads on the Visitors Smithville website, and we'll get back to you on that information. The movie theater has advertisement, and then I do my own email marketing. I've got a email list of over 2,200, and 99% of them are in the Bastrop County area. And there's the rates that I charge. And then I attached a couple examples of some that I've done. I've been doing email marketing for years. So this is one I did for Smithville Chamber on this. I just think that creative is so pretty. That's why I included it. Is that me doing that?
Oh, I don't know.
There's some feedback. Anyway, you can scroll down to the next page and then right to the next page.
Awesome.
Did I lose you or? Okay, yeah. And then go to the next page. Yeah, this is one I did for my son-in-law, who's got a handyman business, and it's been quite successful for him. And so I just wanted to show him off. And we included having some of the reviews that people left for him on the email. It's unlimited what you can do with email marketing, including graphics and pictures and as much information as you need. So. And then something new to the Bastrop and Smithville area is Texas Digital Billboards. They're a new member of the chamber, and they've contacted me to work with them. And it is where we have gone in and contracted with high traffic areas like Lost Pines Toyota and Atlas Pain Institute, Premier ER, Anytime Fitness, and the 602 on Main. And then in Smithville, we've contracted with Smithville Chamber, Fat Cat Lounge, and we're working on a couple others. So this is going to be a place where we're going to put local news, events, business profiles, nonprofit information, weather, and advertising. And it's very inexpensive. So if you're interested in that, let me know, and I'll make sure you get the flyer. And then we do have radio stations in our area, in LaGrange and in Giddings. Here's some prices that you might be interested in. I just recommended one to Fat Cat, and she got a great deal for the next 3 months with lots of ads running. And then there's the Elgin Courier Bastrop County Insider, and they do a nice job for a local paper. They put a lot of the Bastrop County news in that Insider, and it's free for you to pick up on Wednesdays. And I didn't attach the special section because it was 5 pages, but they really have some great special sections coming out at affordable prices. So if you're interested in that, we can get that for you. And then Smithville's doing a golf tournament in October of 2021, and there'll be sponsorship opportunities that you might want to be part of, and Smithville Chamber would be very appreciative. Then again, we will be working towards getting the Smithville Chamber member directory and visitors guide again. And then I hope everybody liked the Smithville 78957 magazine that just came out. I think it turned out fabulous. I represented Smithville so well. We didn't have a lot of advertising in it, but I don't think people knew how good it was going to be. So, but I'll be working on that again for the fall. Then I've also been asked to help with a 10-year anniversary Bastrop Complex Fire commemorative magazine. Yeah, it's been 10 years. So, and I'll be selling advertising for that too. And the one more project I'll be working on this year is a Bastrop County Medical Directory. I did the first one in 2018, and it was phenomenally successful. The schools picked it up. Bastrop County Cares picked it up and helped me get it distributed. And anyway, it's time. We have a lot of new medical that have come into the area, and I'll be working on that. So there's a flyer for the commemorative magazine. So, but anyway, I know I probably went through that really fast. Gave you just so much information, and I hope it's information that you can use. And if you want copies of any of this, we'll get it to you. So.
All right, Debbie, you got that done right in 40 minutes. Well done.
Thank you.
So I want to make a couple of comments about asking questions. If you would like to pop in, you're certainly welcome to do so. You can unmute yourself and just ask your questions directly. I know that Debbie included some time at the end here to talk with our participants about their marketing needs and their marketing planning that they've done. This is a great opportunity right now before we get into the question and answer to have that. If you'd like to participate and turn your computer camera back on, that way you can have that short conversation before we get into the Q&A, because we have about 8 minutes here before we get into our Q&A section. If you'd like to do that, Debbie.
Okay. You want me to ask questions? Is from anybody have any questions about any of the material that I presented, or need to know a little bit more details? A new delivery service from Daniel. Well, again, creative is key. You know, when thinking of a name, make sure that your name represents what you do. That makes it so much easier than having J&S sales or something, which nobody understands what that means except for you. So that's really important. And if you can come up with a slogan or want me to help you to come up with one, I'd be glad to. But I just think that a few more questions need to be asked of what the name of it is, what type of delivery service it is, and I'll be glad to help you. You're welcome.
I know that we had a question from Otelia. Otelia, if you're there and you can turn your computer on, you can ask your question. Are you there, Otelia?
Yes.
Hi, Otelia.
Hi. Just a minute, I'm trying to see where the thing went. Oops, there it is.
Oh, here it is. You emailed me your question. I was like, I know, I
Yes.
saw a question.
Yes.
Do you want me to read out your question, or can you just go ahead and ask it?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No? Oh, okay. Well, first I wanted to make a comment about something that Debbie said, that businesses here in Smithville are pretty much focused on Smithville. But the kind of work that I do, I'm not going to find very many clients, if any, in my field, in my type of business, because I do technical writing and editing, and
Right.
I really don't know of any potential clients especially in Smithville, especially now that that MD Anderson is gone. That MD Anderson could have been a
What are you there?
potentially
Yeah.
good client, but
Well, I don't
Yes.
think I ever said that Smithville
So-
people can advertise in Smithville. You could you have to find who your target customer is.
Yeah,
And
it's gonna have to be probably Austin, because
Yeah.
that's where the majority of
Right.
clients that, that I could
right. Well, and
target.
there are some, some of the larger companies here that don't make themselves very well known. And again, that's through research you find out. Like,
Mhm.
you definitely use your talents. So we just have to find the best way to reach them and find out.
Right.
We'll find out who they are.
Yeah.
But you know, it's hard when you get into bigger markets like Austin, because there's just
A lot of competition.
a lot of competition. Right, right. But I know how good you are, and if I can help you in any way, I will.
Mhm.
We'll
Thank
find those customers.
Yeah. I have two clients and they're out of town. They're not even Austin. One is in Arlington and one is in Denton.
Yeah,
But I really need to try to expand. And so I'm trying to figure out whether I know that there are some freelance websites that, list, I guess, companies looking for freelance writers and editors, but I don't know how. I've never used one of them, and I don't know. I'm a little leery of going
yeah,
to those websites. So,
yeah. I know that there's websites that where you could be listed and promoted worldly,
uh-huh.
um, and people go there and look. Of course, I think that a lot of people are at discounted prices, but it doesn't mean you have to. But
Yeah.
We have another question. The question is, what do you recommend as a higher probability of reaching potential customers? For example, rack cards versus every door direct marketing or other.
well, first of all, I think rack cards are a must, as much as a business card is, um, and it's not expensive, and you can get a lot of them and get them out there. So I don't really compare the two of them, but uh, a direct mail, it's expensive, but it will pay off. I haven't had anybody where it didn't work. So, but it works best when you do have some kind of call to action or new product, um, and get them a reason to make an action of calling you or going, and finding out more about your business. So, um, uh, is there an underutilized market strategy to reach potential customers? Um, so yeah, I would say rack cards is a must, and then direct mail, we would just have to sit down and talk about it and find out if it's something that you fits within your budget, because it's not cheap, but it will work. So I know that Anna just had one about an underutilized marketing opportunity. I'm sure there is, of course, just caught me off guard. But I would think rec cards may be underutilized, and they work so well. Um, then you have
I'd like to break in here and say, this every door direct marketing, for those of you that that feel comfortable creating something that you're willing to mail out to targeted groups. Debbie worked with us, and I will certainly be the first to admit that that was an underutilized marketing tool that I was not really well aware of. And Debbie, would you talk a little bit about
sure.
how we did that for our new magazine, or how you do it? For example, I know you do a lot with some local businesses here in our community,
Right,
like Milton's. I'm often seeing
right. Praise.
marketing pieces showing up in my mailbox here. Can you talk a little bit about the mechanics of that?
Sure. Um, and I think, or at least for right now, um, according to the post office, I'm one of the only ones who does the whole thing when it comes to every door direct mail. It's just an incredible tool. So how it works is um, I go to the post office website and I pick the zip codes that you want to target, and then put in that we were trying to target 25 to 65-year-olds, and that with certain incomes that you want to see the incomes that those areas have, and you choose whether it's residence, a business, or if you want both. And most of the time I just do residents. And then it'll come up with all the different zones. Smithville has, I believe, 8 zones, mailing zones, and it'll tell you how many people are in each zone. I can go to the map and find out where those zones are in Smithville, and then it'll tell me the income levels and the total price of how much it's going to cost to reach that particular zone. And again, it works out to be like 19.5 cents each to mail out. So from there, taking a look, most of the people are looking at average household income, and that's where how they choose who they want it to be mailed to. And you pick the zones, and whether it be in Smithville, Bastrop, a lot of LaGrange, Giddings, Cedar Creek, and Page have the highest average household incomes in our area. Cedar Creek, by far, they're in the 80s, average household income. Most of them are in the 70s. And then, for example, I live downtown on Jefferson Street and at Bastrop, and the average household income here is only 40,000. But the low income housing is mixed in my zone, so you have to take a look at that too. Then in Smithville has one of the lowest areas for average household incomes, and they have one that's 33,000 a year average household income, but it's still a very important area. It's part of your downtown, so you just have to know the area and look that aside. So anyway, from there you determine how many you're going to print, and then call your printer and get a quote on how much it's going to cost to print. But it's really crucial to use a designer that knows what they're doing, and because there's fonts that need to be outlined, and so many different ways the printer will kick it back if it's not done right. And the insignia of every door direct mail has to be in the right place on the mailer. But I mean, if you are a designer, then that's great. You can save yourself that cost. But anyway, they work. Just I try to make them different and catchy, and some kind of good call to action where we know that they're going to pick up the phone and call you or go into your store.
Thank you, Debbie.
Sure.
Do we have any other questions? I don't see any other questions having come up in the chat. While I wait to see if anybody else might pop in any other questions,
Thank you.
I actually have a question for you,
Okay.
Debbie. With regard to radio advertising, we
Yes.
have certainly here at the Chamber utilized radio advertising in our area markets. Can you explain to our listeners today how they would go about, again, the nuts and bolts of it, how they would go about reaching out to those radio stations and running those ads, and what comes along with that? For example, do you provide the script, or how does that work with radio ads?
Okay. Well, I spent the first 14 years, well, after I was a television news reporter, I was the first 14 years in radio. So again, your creative is so important. What radio's benefits is that you can usually afford the frequency it takes to build those impressions. Okay. And then you have your strong listeners, your fan base. Smithville Chamber is probably one of the most successful clients for the radio stations in our area, and that use them every time for all the different events. And you can afford the frequency and reach that area, covering Smithville, LaGrange, Giddings, even down to Columbus. So there's 2 radio stations. There's one in Giddings. They're both country, and they're both super nice people to work with. The one in Giddings is pretty set on his rates being about $20 a piece. Now, but he has a huge reach, even going over to Luling and that area. So, but his remotes are very affordable. And then I probably work the most with one in LaGrange, And they have an AM and an FM, and their commercials are about $10 a piece. But they just offered Fat Cat a phenomenal package, 45 ads a month. And it worked, she said, worked out to be about a little over $5 a piece. So, but she had to commit to 3 months. And so that helps you get people outside your area, and it does work.
And I think the point there is, as Debbie said before, there are very affordable alternatives, even though we're in kind of a unique market in that we don't have some of the traditional advertising avenues that you might have available to you in larger markets. Thank you, Heather Albright with the Bugle Boy in LaGrange. She is correct. Community ads are often run for free. In fact, we here at the Chamber do run some free community ads, what you would think of as kind of public service announcements, PSAs. They absolutely do run those at no charge, and they offer nonprofit rates. So we are out of time. It is, I want to again thank Debbie Denny Media Solutions for being here today and kicking off our training series. We will have another class that goes hand in hand with this topic. And that class is called Marketing Your Business on a Shoestring Budget. That is a really very nuts and bolts class that talks about how you advertise, who you call, how much it costs. And remember, as if you are a member of our Smithville Chamber, you can reach out to us and we will help connect you with people that can help, that can create advertising pieces for you. And we'll work with you just as part of your membership to help you put together a marketing plan that works for your business and your budget. Again, thank you to the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the Texas State Library Archives Association, the City of Smithville Public Library, and that concludes our very first class today. Debbie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thank all of you. Thank you, Debbie. Thank all of you for being here. And you will receive an email with Debbie's slides, which includes information that she referred to, like about SCORE and so on. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day.